Every Monday night, you are checking out Breakfast Super Raw.
Bon appetit, as Don, Tony, and Mish dish out their opinions about the world of pro wrestling, sports, news, and pop culture. Breakfast Super Raw.
And now, your host, Mish and Don Tony.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Oh, boy. How'd you like that Miz and Morrison match tonight, huh?
Yeah, not bad, dude. Not bad.
Not bad at all. Oh, boy. Good evening, everybody. Breakfast Soup Raw, August 30th, 2021. I am Don Tony, and he is...
Anthony Missionary Thomas, what's going on? DT, what's going on, everyone?
Boy. We got some interesting things to talk about tonight as far as Raw goes. We're going to talk about the NXT logo that has sparked a lot of debate. We're going to exchange a couple of words about Karrion Kross and the mask, which I thought they did a better job with the hemming. We'll talk about that. I just want to apologize to everyone that definitely tonight is going to be a little bit of a shorter show for the simple reason that I am going through a weird blood sugar hangover. Very quick, for those that follow me already know this, but I've been on a keto diet for a little over 2 years. And this weekend, this past Friday was, well, actually Saturday was... Well, yeah, it was now. My mom's 73rd birthday. That is from, I don't know, my kind of three-quarter profile makes me look very, very old and my eyebrows look unshaven. But that was from Saturday.
You look like an evil mastermind. You do. You look like you're plotting something.
Yeah, my mom, she don't smile much. But she smiled there, and as I said, a lot of you out there that wish her happy birthday. She doesn't go on the internet, but I showed her all the love and put a smile on her face. But here's the deal. My mom doesn't like the diet I'm on. She wants to cook for me. And the only thing that she could cook for me is really eggs and bacon, or eggs and sausage. So I promised her that I would eat normal for her birthday. So I had tortellini Alfredo. I had fried chicken cutlets. I had fried zucchini, stuffed mushrooms, a little bit of eggplant parmesan, and cannolis Saturday. And I thought, not a big deal. Sunday, I'll feel a lot better. First of all, I didn't go to sleep till 5 o'clock Sunday morning because my body was all out of whack with the cortisol. And for 2+ years, my body really hasn't had to let out much insulin. So Saturday night, my body was like, what the fuck did you just do? My body probably thought it was poison that I ate. So all day Sunday, I had a hangover. I was in bed. Today, I had a rough day, and I am so tired. And, it was worth it, though. When you don't eat things that you've eaten for 40 years every week, and you don't eat it for 2+ years, tastes different, feels different. So, funny thing is, no diarrhea, nothing like that, just headaches and lightheadedness and extreme tiredness. So tonight will be a little bit of an earlier night for yours truly, and I apologize. Shout out to M Crew. Thank you very much, M Crew. I'm going to see you tomorrow. I see them every Tuesday. And I try to see them one day each weekend. And I am going to go there tomorrow to spend some time with them. So I appreciate that. My mom's gone through a lot. And, if anybody even looks at the picture of her from a year ago to now, it's weird because I don't have the picture in front of me. If anybody's ever seen a picture of my grandmother is the one that got me into wrestling. My grandmother was the one. And when my mom would say, or my dad would say, no junk food, no cake, when they weren't looking, my grandmother would be like, take it, take it, take it. My mom is turning into my grandmother before my eyes. Thursday, I'll show everybody a picture of my grandmother. You look at them, even the hair. And it makes me fucking sad. It really does. Because 3 years ago, she was pronounced dead twice with heart surgery. So that's how important this weekend was for yours truly. But enough about that. Let's talk about Raw tonight. And I tell you, Mish, overall, I thought it was a decent show. You could see WWE's truly trying to mix things up. I think, last week when Miz and Morrison was a little bit rushed, I'm glad they didn't just bounce it off. I said last week, you weren't on, but I said last week, that should have been for Extreme Rules.
Right.
That feud deserved a pay-per-view match.
It does.
So
it really does. No, the idea of them splitting up is kind of interesting. I don't want it to happen too fast. For as long as these guys have been together, I want the long game with this. This needs to be a long feud. This needs to be a long setup. You don't just throw away 10 plus years of tagging and being friends in a 2-week storyline. It's a waste. You would be wasting potential. And I think that there's a little bit more love for Morrison this time around than even before. Even both of his other times that he was hired in WWE. I think that Johnny Drip Drip and the way that he's been, part of the audience and stuff like that, I think he's done a good job of connecting, where I don't think he connected this well before with the fans.
Right. And him losing Omos, I don't think anybody should read too far into that. They want, if they could have Morrison, this is almost like the fruit roll-up. If they could have him lose to someone, they want him to lose to a giant. Back in the day, if you lost to Andre the Giant, trust me, your career wasn't crushed. You weren't getting jobbed out. Sometimes it was a privilege. Now, I'm not saying that Omos is an Andre the Giant, but the point is the size difference is designed that Morrison is more in suit with smaller guys. That's why you will see Omos beat some people.
Well, I mean, even if you think about it through WWE's frame of mind, if you think about it through the scope, a guy like Omos, a guy like John Morrison is not prepared for. How are you prepared for somebody like Omos? That's where the storyline kind of takes control,
Yeah. Dennis Lusher II. Thank you very much, my friend. Yeah, I'm going to probably treat her for lunch tomorrow. I'm going to probably surprise her with some lunch. So much love. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love the vibe. Oh, I got to show you something.
Jesus.
Look, I got to show everybody two things. The ice cream bar lady. Somebody that went to the show, John, that's a listener, a viewer, he said, DT, you want? He's sending me 2 more. One for you if you want. Oh, you were there. But if you don't have yours, if you want one, he trimmed it nice. So it's nice and neat. Somebody won this in a contest, so he's going to get me a couple more. So congrats again. No, that's not for me. We did a contest last week. Guess the AEW rating. It was Chris L that won it. So Chris L got a CM Punk shirt, and he got that wrapper. So the only thing I'm waiting on from Chris is if he wants it laminated, because I can laminate it if he wants. But it's pretty good condition, I didn't like... You know what? There is residue in it. There is residue. Now, I really should not. No, I'm not going to touch it. I think the big news coming out of Raw tonight, not even Karrion Kross's mask. Nia Jax. See the kiss card? It's on my ass. Everybody could kiss my ass with your criticisms of Nia Jax. I've been a Nia Jax fan for a long time. I acknowledge not the most careful person in the ring, but let me explain something to everybody out there.
How'd you get that card? That card's kind of cool. Where'd you find that?
I got it a long time ago in PAX, and you know what? I took a screenshot also because I got to show everybody something. And you know what's cool about this card? I'm actually going to send it to Beckett to get authenticated.
Is that actual lipstick or is that just...
it's actual lipstick. But check this out.
Really?
It's limited to 25. But the funny thing is, if you go on eBay and you look up this card, which I think might have been her rookie card, all the cards that I find, she only signed it as Jax, Jax, no Nia. If you go on eBay and you look at all the completed auctions, you will, even the one that's going on right now, it only says Jax on it. This one is signed Nia Jax, which is interesting. But here's a close-up of it. And I took a picture of it earlier because I had to share this with everybody. Now, again, I am a huge Nia Jax fan, but I even have to acknowledge this. And I say this with love. Mish, tell me when Nia Jax had a waistline like that, like Sheila E. Look at that. I do not recall Nia Jax ever having a waistline, an hourglass Sheila E-like waistline.
And I believe, sir, that is what we call Photoshop.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I mean, even look at the face. The face is different too, and yeah, dude.
I could probably get you one. I have a collector that sometimes I trade stuff with. I could ask him if he has an extra one. I gave away one on Patreon about 2 years ago. What the Kiss cards are is they actually kiss the card, and then you could get it either autographed or not autographed. So, but let me throw this out there to everybody. Nia Jax and Charlotte did not shoot on each other tonight in the ring. We have a pay-per-view coming up called Extreme Rules. And just like the tag team champions, just like Bobby Lashley, and just like others, champions get pinned. That is WWE's way of justifying the next feud for the next pay-per-view. They had a more than physical brawl today, a little bit of potato shots, but a lot of wrestlers do that. They slap each other, I mean, my God, you look at Walter and Ilya. I don't have the picture in front of me. I could pull it up, but you look at that and you see how they were like throwing really, really hard shots to the head and the face. Hey, I do have it. And did anybody say, oh my God, they're shooting on each other? No, they beat the shit out of each other. And then the next day they went to the beach. They went to the beach and hung out together. Yeah. That's like the Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, Italy shot, if anybody remembers. But I don't care. I loved it. The match today was designed to get Nia Jax over as a monster. She is going to face Charlotte at Extreme Rules. End of story. If you're going to make it with weapons or make an extra stipulation because it's Extreme Rules, you best damn better have a nice little physical match beforehand. That's why you saw what you saw tonight. I don't know how anybody feels about Nia Jax being the next one to feud with Charlotte, but lo and behold, Mish, Charlotte is a babyface again.
Yeah, I think that's a little more tentative. I don't think she's a full-on babyface. She's closer to being the heelish version of a babyface, not necessarily a Steve Austin, but
you could thank for that, right?
Who?
You could thank for that, right?
Kevin
Sasha
Dunn?
Banks. Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks.
See, Sasha Banks, and again, out of respect for her, just like we did for Keith Lee, if it's not made public by her or WWE, we're not making it public. But Sasha Banks was supposed to take on Bianca Belair, be the number one heel in SmackDown. Sasha Banks abruptly had to pull off TV for a little while. So WWE puts Becky Lynch. Now, will they succeed in the heel turn? I don't know. But Becky Lynch originally was supposed to go to Raw to challenge Charlotte after Charlotte won the championship. Problem is, Sasha Banks is off TV. They needed Becky to stay on SmackDown for now. Draft news. Draft is happening in October. Could always change. But the plan is, right now, is from now to October, is to use who they're using on these brands. And some of this is going to lead to Saudi Arabia. Goldberg. We'll talk about him in a minute. So in October, don't be surprised if Becky Lynch hops on over to Raw and then has the feud with Charlotte. And you see things going down. Don't be surprised if Drew McIntyre gets over to SmackDown. So right now, things are status quo. Once October comes, things are going to truly be shaken up. So right now, since Becky Lynch is not going to Raw at the moment, Charlotte has to be the babyface. You see how it all like comes together? Sasha, Becky, Charlotte. That's how it goes down. And I'm not complaining because Charlotte got a big pop in Las Vegas. She backs it up in the ring, man. I don't know why people are so like feel that it's because of the name Flair. Sure, it gives extra royalty and status.
No, that's baloney. It's not because she's a Flair.
No. I'm saying like it's a little extra special because she's a Flair, but she earns every dollar that she makes.
Right. That's what I was going to say is like I think people's biggest problem is they just see so much of her on TV and she's always in the picture. But then when you think about it, look at everybody else disappearing left and right. It seems like Charlotte's the main player because she's always available. You know, and I'm not knocking Becky and I'm not knocking Sasha, but I mean, you look at it, and when it comes to reliability, I think Charlotte's probably the most reliable female that they have on the roster that can pull in the big numbers. Even Asuka right now is taking a little vacay, you know, and it's deserved. I'm not knocking it. It's just, I think people are sick of Charlotte always being at the top. And I understand, you know, it feels like not necessarily that it's her fault. People that blame her don't fucking understand, but people that realize that she's put there because she's constantly available for whatever WWE needs. You know what I mean? It's like the employee of the month. If there was an employee of the month, Charlotte would be that employee for the women every damn month in a row, you know?
Mm-hmm. You like Nia Jax? You like what they did tonight? I thought it was a little telltale sign when she said earlier that she was going to beat the shit out of Rhea, or Team DIAR-RHEA, as I call them. I thought I came up with such an awesome name, and people don't understand. It's just like lighthearted fun, but some people got triggered when I wrote it. What I do?
Oh no, they got triggered by diarrhea.
Yeah, I came up with diarrhea. Where the hell is the picture? Shit, I don't know what I did with it. It's on my Twitter.
It's
diarrhea. Here it is. I found it. I get all the credit. No one else came up with it. See the dash in the middle? See the play on words? Come on, that's perfect. That's how you spell diarrhea. I could even come up with a good one once in a while. Team DIAR-RHEA. Seriously. And she got the 3 tonight.
WWE should totally bite that.
Seriously.
I would buy a Team DIAR-RHEA shirt.
I would buy Team DIAR. If this was Attitude Era, they would call themselves Team DIAR-RHEA. Seriously. So I don't know, but I like Nia Jax in this role. She looks bigger than ever. And I don't know. I know a lot of people want to see Shayna Baszler really get the push. And yeah, tonight.
Oh, that match was so bad with her and Rhea tonight.
It's amazing. They had an awesome feud in NXT. That is from NXT, and they killed it. But this is what happens when you go to the main roster. You get domesticated. You have to adapt. And tonight's match was nothing like what we saw in NXT.
Horrible. They were literally in rest holds in the first 30 seconds. I'm like, Jesus, really, guys?
Yeah.
You can't figure out how to have a match against each other. I don't know. I don't know what the breakdown is. You know, I've been looking more and more at Rhea, and she's the one that seems out of sync with everything. And I don't want to put it directly on her shoulders, but damn, tonight was not a good. They were fumbling most of the entire match. They were out of sync and fumbling and just rolling around the ring, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know?
Well, Shayna Baszler loses to Rhea Ripley. Shayna is still, you know, you could see the teasing the split with her and Nia. Now for sure, Nia will beat the living shit out of Shayna Baszler in the next week or two. They got to further the heel push for Nia Jax. The steps to go from now to...
Yeah, but I don't want Shayna as a face.
Oh, they're going
I don't
face
want that. Oh, Shayna's...
She'll be the tough baby face. You know, she'll be the
For
nonsense, pissed off baby face. That's where it's going. Nia, it's got to beat the shit out of her. Absolutely, man. So after the match is over, Nia beats the crap out of Rhea, tosses Nikki A.S.H outside, tossing her like a salad. But in the end, Team DIAR-RHEA, ends up with the 3. And I'm going to keep saying 3 because if anybody, it was me like a kid when I had to use the bathroom and I would be in the bathroom for a little while. Unless my mom thought I was playing pocket pool, my mom would say, "What's the matter? I'm going to the bathroom. Number 1, number 2, or number 3?" If it was DIAR-RHEA, I would say number 3. So it all fits. DIAR-RHEA with the 3. I don't know. Shout out to Brandon Jones. Naomi showing up on SmackDown. Yes, we may see her added to the bloodline. WWE just brought in Jacob Fatu to the mix. He will be in the Performance Center. So it's amazing to see. It's amazing to see. I'm looking forward to it. And what did he say about Sunny? I thought I saw a comment about Sunny. And he's going to see Sunny at the next AIW event. Hey, if you see her, tell her Don Tony from New York. Well, you don't even have to just state her. Congrats on making the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. She'll appreciate it. You tell her. From you. So, by the way, you got balls, man. This guy, Brandon Jones, he met Terry Reynolds not too long ago. Yeah. Terry's a sweetheart. And he wore a New Jack outfit. He wore like the New Jack camouflage shirt. And the relationship with New Jack and Terry Reynolds was kind of a interesting one. I'll say it that way. A lot of you know the story about New Jack with me, with the photos of Terry Reynolds that I refused to put online. So, but continuing with Raw.
Yeah.
Karrion Kross. Now, look, I defended it last week because I know the end game with this. And, Karrion Kross has only had a couple of matches, half a dozen matches on the main roster. They're trying to tweak his character a little bit. They're going more of a gladiator type person. I think the shorts, the way he wore them in NXT kind of gave a little of that away. They decided they wanted to add suspenders. Now, last week I even admitted after talking to, I think, Elizabeth, that the mask was too big. It was too wide. And when I look back on it, the problem was where his eyes were positioned. It looked like a child that walked into an adult Halloween store and put on an adult Halloween mask, and it's way too big. And plus, the suspenders were very loose last week. So he came out today, and I have no idea what your reaction is going to be what I'm about to say, but he came out today, and this is my take on it. Number one, they tightened the straps on the mask, and they tightened it really good, and they, changed it a little bit. Now it looks more even. And what they also did, there's another picture of the mask up close. Then what they did was they tightened up. I don't call them suspenders. I call them X-benders. And I thought he looked a lot better today. My honest take, after letting this digest for a whole week, this is my take on it. Number one, he wears the mask walking down the aisle. He doesn't wear it during the match like Farouk Assad. Okay? He takes it off. All right? People in Japan, people in the Indies, people in AEW, people in WWE, NXT, some people wear like these war masks or whatever they wore in the ring, and things can be tweaked. Now, my concern is the outcomes in the matches. He beat Ricochet pretty handedly last week. He had a competitive match against Humberto Carrillo this week and won that too. And, when people are like, well, why does he have to go 6 minutes with Humberto Carrillo? Because he's not fucking Goldberg. He's going to have to look at the Raw roster. He's going to have to wrestle some small guys. He's going to have to wrestle some guys and have it competitive so the other guys' careers aren't crushed in social media's eyes. So he doesn't have a plethora of, perfect opponents to face. That's why you get what you get. So him winning 2 weeks in a row is what matters most to me. But I will say this, and I got to get this off my chest. For 5 months, we told you about the Keith Lee stuff. Didn't get specific. We told you that all the shit that was being fed to you were lies. That's been proven. From the big bold letters, why he was pulled from Elimination Chamber, Vince had nothing for him and this and that, Nia gave him COVID. They all lied to you. The NXT stuff, being dead, Triple H not being in power for a year and all that, they lied to you. The stuff that they started teasing about Sasha Banks, they lied to you.
Right.
So now with the Scarlet stuff, I'm going to say this the best I can without getting into specifics. Scarlet was taken off TV because she needed to be taken off TV. Okay? Up until now, she was not ready to return. So when you see people out there and they're telling you, Jesus Christ, WWE, it's not fucking brain surgery, put her back on TV, problem solved. Let me make this clear. Most of the people that are doing that have shows and write blogs and break news, they pretty much know what's going on with Scarlett. They know that she is not being held back, that all this time that Karrion Kross started going on Raw, that they just decided to let her stay at home and not use her. They know damn well that there were circumstances as to why she was off TV. So that's like walking into a doctor's office and somebody has a heart attack and the doctor doesn't have the machines. And then you got some goofy podcaster standing in the corners. Look, Doc, it's not fucking difficult. All you got to do is fucking utilize the things, whatever they are, and you bring them back to life. That's it. It's not hard. Why do you overthinking it, Dr. WWE? Well, guess fucking what? That person's in the office and he knows that the doctor doesn't have this. You see where I'm going with that? They know that Scarlett, up until now, couldn't be used. And there were specific reasons why. So remember this, because there's an old saying, and I wrote it on Twitter earlier. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You keep feeding in and buying into the bullshit that's being fed to you over and over and over. Why? Because people are nice. Because they talk to you.
Yeah.
Because they like your stuff. Because you feel like you're part of a clique. Those people will do shit for you in your real personal life. Stop buying into the bullshit. Kross's gear reminds him as Kane is Unabomber. Yeah, look, man. Undertaker's gear, Kane's gear, Mankind's gear, Lord Humongous, Demolition. Over time, things got tweaked. And I said this last week. Thank God Demolition did not debut in this era. When they first started, that's fucking Axe, that overweight mass superstar over the hill, fucking hairline, thinning hairlines, like 50 years old. They're putting him in S&M outfits and a black fucking mask, and we're supposed to buy him. You imagine Demolition would never have become one of the greatest tag teams in history. Karrion Kross is wearing an outfit, and he doesn't wear the mask in the ring. The only thing that has changed in the ring is that he's wearing X-Benders. That's it. That's it. And people are losing their shit because they see on social media, and again, people ask me, why do you keep bringing up social media? Because that's where everything happens. You want news? You go on Twitter. You want the AEW rating? You reload 1,000 times on Twitter. You don't reload on ProWrestling.net. You think Jason Powell will post a rating right now? No, everybody runs to social media. So where am I wrong, Mish, with this? With Karrion Kross?
I mean, it's one thing. It's a lot of knee-jerk reactions to it. Dude, I'm still not a fan of it. I understand that WWE is making alterations to the outfit in order to make it not seem as silly and wacky as it was in the prior week. But I just don't understand how the outfit is an example of the character. It doesn't really fit the gimmick. It's like if Randy Orton came out next week dressed in a chicken suit. There's just... Gladiator. But he's not. He's not a gladiator. So why is he wearing a gladiator outfit? You know what I mean? This isn't a social media thing either. I understand when people start nitpicking about the rhinestones on people's pants and stuff like that, on like Damian Priest's pants were too shiny. I laughed my ass off at that one, seeing that one tonight. Damian Priest's pants are too shiny. Like, what? What?
I think people forgot all the crap that Damian Priest was being given from social media.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
And he wasn't getting a reaction for a while. And, you know,
Right.
even on social media, people were complaining. I mean, look, you know, it's funny. It's funny because Bianca Belair, I don't want to say that Bianca Belair and Karrion Kross mirrored each other, but it's kind of funny that so many people kept saying, like, why is Karrion Kross champion? I don't know what people see in him. This is bland. He's this, he's that, he's this. Without Scarlett, he's nothing, and blah, 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 blah. So WWE's like, all right, motherfuckers, not only are we taking the NXT title off of him, we're going to put on X-Benders. And he's going to look a little bit more like a Mad Max Gladiator thing or whatever. Now suddenly everybody gives a shit. Bianca Belair, she won the title at WrestleMania. And you have to admit this, Mish. There were tons of people in droves. Bianca Belair, she sucks. She just swinging the hair and this and that. Like she lost her edge and she doesn't have the attitude anymore. And everything that she had in NXT, it's all gone in WWE. We've even said it. The whole bully every week talking about bullying. You know, but her promos leading up to it is that the bullies feed. You know, she feeds off of it, makes her stronger. But then she's complaining about the bullies with the hair. So WWE's like, oh, all right, no problem. Becky Lynch is coming back. We're going to take the title off of her. So it's like, okay, they just fucked Becky Lynch. Jeff Hardy rolls up Karrion Kross. They just fucked Karrion Kross. So this is one of WWE's formulas. Make WWE look like the bad guy, and as a result, maybe more fans will give a little bit more, investment in Karrion Kross. Wow, it's fucked up what WWE did to him. So now we're, okay, they take the X-Benders off. They throw the mask in the garbage. And then it's right back to the same people. Oh, I don't know what people see in him. He sucks. He's bland. He's got no look. This is
Yeah, but see, I'm not one of those people, DT. I'm not one of those people that don't appreciate Karrion Kross. I think Kross and Scarlett had a real good thing going. I did appreciate it, and I do appreciate it. So you can't label people that immediately dislike something as being hot mess. I understand. You're totally right that there is a lot of people out there like that, but no, there are definitely people that are in Kross's corner that feel that this whole visual gimmick, this gladiator style, isn't it. It's just not.
I agree. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have him wear it. But
right.
I also look at it.
He doesn't need to fucking wear it, dude. I'd rather have him come out wearing that suit like he did when he was with Scarlett up against Samoa Joe when they were in the ring together at the first time. Dude, he looked better in a fucking suit. You know what I mean? He was representing New York hardcore, wearing the suit. It fucking looked good. Or you could go back to the shit that he was wearing before that, back when he was debuting with Scarlett, where it was just simple trunks. And that's it. I just don't get the gladiator thing, bud. That's it. It's not a shot at even the gladiator outfit. If you put that gladiator outfit on somebody else who probably thinks they're a gladiator, it might fucking work. It's just with Kross, it's like it's another layer to the guy that doesn't necessarily make sense from where he came from. I mean, is that the thing? Is he came up from NXT and he left behind Scarlett, he left behind the darkness and the magic, he left behind New York, and now he's a Roman gladiator? Well, then they should do something to let us know who the fuck he is.
Scarlett.
That one day vignette, that first vignette that happened for 30 seconds was not enough to explain who Karrion Kross is supposed to be in WWE. If he's supposed to be a Roman gladiator, then fucking give him a vignette like a Roman gladiator.
Right.
Get rid of the crow in the background and get some more Roman-esque shit. Get a fucking picture with Caesar or whatever doing this. You know, it's like, go forth with it. Don't half-ass it. Yeah.
But, you know, the Scarlett thing, we all know Scarlett with him enhances him. He's without a doubt. But people know why she's off TV. And when they play dumb and they're like, oh, WWE, it's not rocket science. Bring her back on fucking TV. They know up to now they couldn't bring her back on TV. So it's very disingenuous and it pisses me off. I know in the end picture, what I believe is going to happen, it will work out fine. You know, right now I look at it as Karrion Kross taking chicken shit and turning it into chicken salad. King Corbin somehow took that gimmick and turned it into chicken salad, and now everybody seems to enjoy Happy Corbin. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, what else went down on Raw tonight? We had a phenomenal match between Sheamus, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. I talked about it last week. The two matches last week were designed to really put the beginning of the Jets behind the back of Damian Priest. And tonight, not only did he beat Sheamus and Drew McIntyre took the pin. And Drew McIntyre extending his hand afterwards and Damian Priest saying thank you. You could see that WWE has definitely put the Jets behind the back on Damian Priest. And look, you and I talked about it at the beginning of the year, how awesome that match was on Raw between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. So you know that they make, you know, nice, you know, history in the ring.
Sure.
Sheamus and Damian Priest also had done pretty damn well. The only factor is we haven't seen Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre go at it all that much. And what we got tonight, man, I tell you, you don't often hear a "This is awesome" chant during a Sheamus match. And this was at a point where Damian Priest was knocked outside the ring. And all the focus was on Sheamus and Drew. Crowd loved it. I loved it. I thought it was an awesome match.
Yeah, no, it was a fun match. It was a fun mix-up with all three of them, you know. And you're right. Individually, these guys have had good matches together. I think Drew at the very end of the match, that helped Drew more than Damian Priest, in my opinion. And I'll say it like this. Because I think there's a lot of fans that look at Drew as kind of being a guy. Like, some people really love him. Some people could care less. I'm a little bit in the care less aisle. But I appreciated the fact that he stopped at the very end and gave him the thumbs up, gave him the handshake. I thought that was pretty fucking cool. And it was cool because Damian Priest is clearly a guy that deserves it. You know, I don't know what's going to hold this kid's future in the next 5 years or whatever. But right now, this guy's on fire. He doesn't talk like a wrestler, so his promos sound good. He doesn't wrestle atypical, formulaic style. So you get these random little move sets, these little one-offs that make him unique and different than everybody else that's wrestling the WWE formula. He doesn't make the same kind of mistakes. He's got a unique look. He's got a unique backstory. What was it, a few years ago? The dude weighed like 300-400 pounds, and he lost it in like 2-3 years. It's like crazy. Like, the guy is a literal story. There's a lot to him. He's multilingual. He represents. You know, there's a lot going for Damian Priest to where I can see him being in these main events down the road. Easy.
MVP calling him a bendejo before, which is pretty.
Yeah,
funny.
I fucking laughed at that, and he's over here like, hey,
a bendejo once in a while. Joke.
And it's funny. I'm surprised WWE didn't try to bleep that out because, I mean, let's be honest, WWE is very aware of their bilingual audience, and their bilingual audience absolutely knows what bendejo is. Matter of fact, even people that aren't bilingual know what bendejo is. So, did I say it enough times? Do I need to say it like 2 more times? Yeah. Bendejo.
Ken, Damian Priest is not missing anything. Damian Priest just needs to develop and needs seasoning. You know, mind you, this is his first year on the main roster, and for a majority of 2021, it was mixed with a Ms. Morrison connection, Bad Bunny earlier in the year.
Which was
people
great.
Seem to forget that when he was with Bad Bunny, a lot of people didn't feel the connection, which was looking back on is like a little odd. But Damian Priest, you got to give him more time. That's why I say even with Karrion Kross, people are like, oh, there's no crowd reaction. Yeah, I mean, and when it's someone you like, they'll blame WWE for it, or they'll say person doesn't have enough time on the main roster yet. There were points where Riddle, wasn't getting a crazy reaction. It's not immediate. You just got to develop and season. He needs more time. And my God, from even 6 weeks ago compared to now, you could see Damian Priest coming out, getting more comfortable, ad-libbing, just talking, and it doesn't sound scripted. But they give him the bullet points, and when you're not sure, you almost do things word for word, and it doesn't sound natural. Now he's starting to make it more natural, and I'm telling you, just in time, all these wrestlers need time. And we'll talk about NXT's new logo in a few minutes. We just want to just wrap up Raw. Oh, that's going to be a very interesting discussion. I promise everyone out there, this is going to be very, very interesting when we talk about this. But, obviously some matches got changed up today. Originally, we thought it was going to be Sheamus and Lashley, which a lot of people were very intrigued by. I still think that match could very well end up happening in some capacity at Extreme Rules. But instead today, we get a tag team title shot. I almost said rated RK Bro. RK Bro taking on MVP and Lashley, which was very interesting.
It was nice. It was nice to see MVP back in the ring. I enjoyed that. I enjoy MVP in the ring, working in every once in a while it works. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, match was good. What else is there to say about it? Obviously, there was a lot of interference, with AJ and stuff like that. But, that was to be expected. We knew that was coming.
And you knew MVP was going to eat the pin, too. Lashley's not going to get pinned every week. Last week he walked out on a match and lost. Today someone else gets pinned and he lost. Lashley's 0 for 2 in the last 2 weeks.
I know, but that's the strength is don't have Lashley get pinned. You can have him lose matches without him getting pinned. You can have him lose matches by fuckery or just not giving a shit, like you said, walking out of the ring. Yeah. I mean, that's a heel champion move if I ever saw one. Yeah. Screw you, screw your match. I got my title, I'm leaving. You know?
Yeah. Crezabel, on the main roster, I've been saying that for 20 years, they domesticate you to extend your career. I mean, you have to, look, I guess Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler are a perfect example of that. In NXT, they would have gotten 12, 14 minutes. On the main roster, you only get 4 or 5. So you got to tell a story in a much quicker fashion. And unfortunately, a lot of what would tell a story, sometimes you just can't tell a good story in that short of time. But overall, they take away a lot of moves to prolong wrestlers' careers as well. Damian Priest is now, around 40? So yeah. Damian Priest, did I just hiccup? Damian Priest is around 40. So, it's not like he's 30 years old and he has 10, 15 years left in his career. He's already starting at 40. So AJ Styles is getting up there. He's 44, 45. So they do pull back to prolong wrestlers' careers and to avoid injury too. Yeah. Shout out to Jared. Says DT helps him with his depression. I gotta take a moment too. Want to shout out Fallout from Dishonor podcast, just starting out. They cover a lot of Ring of Honor and other stuff, so you might want to go check it out. You can find them on Twitter and they have iTunes. Shout out to Cedric G. Got your email. Very, very kind words. And I want to shout out Caleb. I don't want to say his last name. Maybe some of you know him, but good timing because you're here this week. 2 weeks ago, we were talking about pets. I know it's a really sensitive subject now, but just to show you why, like you truly, you can't just like be like characters and, try to be somebody you're not on the shows. No, we're going to talk about the NXT logo in a few minutes, but, he had an emotional support cat, dealing with severe bouts of depression. And just as we were talking about, animals with Joe Punches 2 weeks ago and what happened with my dog, his cat got very sick. And long story short, they were scheduled to put his cat down on August 27th. And his cat died a day before. Couldn't even have a chance to say goodbye. And, he got very selfish, wanted to do everything he can to prolong the cat's life. But he said that the one thing, and I'm reading what he said right now, that stuck into his head of what we talked about was, he said it's been replaying in his head over and over again when we said that we always got to remember, you, Mish, me, everyone else out there, Joe Punt, everybody, that we gave these pets the best years of their lives. You always got to remember that. And unfortunately, animals like this don't live very long. So, it's all cute to get an animal early on, but, oh yeah, no, I know how long they live. You never prepare yourself for it. So you really appreciated our conversation because it happened to him literally a week later. And he just lost his cat. It was just, he had the cat since kindergarten. 14 years he had this cat. So, imagine going from kindergarten up to now, age what, 20, 21 years old, and then losing that. That's like a best friend. So stay strong and remember, me, I can never buy another dog. Can't. What I went through, it killed me inside, physically, emotionally. Not easy for 6 years to have to get up every morning at 5 a.m. to 4:35 a.m. to cook and feed your dog and give insulin because he needs it 12 hours apart, and do that for 6 years straight and know that you can't set the alarm for 2-3 hours later and then his blood sugar gets all out of whack. It's rough, but I thank you for what you wrote. And I tell you, stay strong. And for everyone else out there that's gone through that, it doesn't get better, but you understand it more. I could talk about this a lot more now than I did even a year or two ago. I get choked up still. I still dream about him and it still hurts me. And I feel like I get tormented in my dreams because it feels so real that my dog is still around. And I bring my fiance in here right now, but she's probably dressed in a t-shirt going to bed. She's caught me a couple of times waking up in the middle of the night crying. She's like, "You all right?" And she's like, "Oh, okay." She knows. She just lets me be. You gave him the best. I don't know if it's he or she. You gave that cat the best years of its lives. That's all you could do. That's all you could do. And maybe for you, getting another cat is the right way to go. For me, I could not go through that. It's like torture. So anyway, so shout out to Jared once again. Brandon wants to know, do we think Kross agreed with the outfit and helped give the idea? Help give the idea, I'm not sure. But agreeing to the outfit, I'll say it like this. What is he going to say? No? In the midst of 50 releases, you're going to probably go along with it and make the best of it. Might even compliment it. You know what I mean? You gotta be a professional about it. They sign your paycheck. Your employer in the entertainment industry feels that that's a look that is good for you. What are you going to do? Even if Vince said, Tim, Kross, tell me the truth. Does it suck? Tell me the truth. And then you tell him the truth. Big mistake, my opinion.
Indeed.
Randy O.E. Triple E. Mish, myself, JD, and Solo Monster, his favorites. Good company. Good company. Definitely good company. And again,
Indeed.
Brandon, congrats. You're going to see Sonny Perezabel once again. Just wanted to give a couple of shout outs. So, we had more shenanigans with Reginald.
Oh,
Why are people liking this so much? I mean, look, hear me out. R-Truth with the skits early on in 24/7 days. You and I were coming up with ideas, do it in a doctor's office, which did happen. Do it on a plane, do it here, do it in a restaurant, do it at a Chuck E. Cheese. Then after a while, it kind of wore off. But I think at that time, the belt was still fairly new. Is it just now, Mish, that since the belt is not taken seriously anymore, that since we acknowledge and accept that we can't take it seriously, that's what makes it now fun? Is that it?
fun? You're enjoying this?
I'm not really enjoying it. I mean,
Horrible.
I don't
Dude,
put any
you know
time
what?
into
The
it.
special things about the 24/7 title, it was a lot more fun when they had random ass people come out there and win the stupid thing. When it was more than just 3 people fighting over the belt. It's been like, what, over a month now? And it's 3 people fighting for the belt over and over. Dude, I swear to God, they just took out one day, one 1-hour segment and filmed a whole month's worth of segments in an hour. It's horrible, dude. It's stupid. Look, I had more fun when it was going around in the back and referees were trying to get it and the women were trying to get it and you had random, athletes and TV stars getting in. At least that was like, okay, this is goofy. We can go with that. This is caca. This is gross. I mean, Reginald, whatever, I guess it's just a way to showcase that Reginald can jump on things all week. It's literally hurting R-Truth's legacy. It really is. It makes R-Truth unfunny. And it takes a lot for WWE to make R-Truth unfunny. But this is not funny. R-Truth is unfunny in this. It's painful. I'd rather watch commercials than watch this shit.
I can't disagree with you much. None personal against Reginald.
No, I
think those
all guys are talented. I'm not saying they're not talented, but Jesus, this has like the creative juices going of an amoeba. You'd expect that this would have been for like the troglodyte audience because there's no meat on this bone. There's no reason to even understand this. No wonder they don't put the 24/7 title in any of the events because it really is a joke title. Like, it's such a joke title now that even watching the segments is a joke in itself. It's not good, man. Like I said, there was fun to it when there was other people involved, when there was a chance of randomness that you'd see somebody you haven't seen in years come out and win this title. I don't know.
I don't know. I think back to those old storylines and I'm like, what happened to Reginald, ladies man? Like, all of a sudden, like, he's not interested in more. Like, you know, I got a little censor button now. I hate Reginald. That good guy. I don't know. That goes when I play it back. Nah, but seriously, if it was up to me with Reginald in a 24/7 title, I would probably have Reginald defended. Then he loses the title.
Yeah.
I'm just being stupid. I got a new toy.
Fine.
By the way, for anybody out there that does podcasting, and people on Patreon will hear the drastic change tomorrow. Cloud lifter allows your mixer to drop the volume down almost to like 15%. And this amps up your microphone by like 25 to 40 decibels. And there's like no noise. If I turn the air conditioner off right now, you wouldn't even be able to hear a pin drop. That's how quiet it is.
Nice.
Actually, I think the opposite. Anyway, Viking Raiders over Jinder Mahal and Veer. Jinder my.
Yeah.
Oh, should we be concerned about Jinder and Veer and Shanky? Because it feels like they're going nowhere quick.
I mean, when you're losing to the Viking Raiders, who haven't been a thing in over a month? Yeah. I don't see much going for Jinder. Shanky and Hanky, whatever. Dude. Do you see a future with these guys? I mean, is there anybody a buzz for Jinder Mania? Is that a thing?
I will never forget. I don't remember who our listener was, but he went to a house show and Jinder was there and he made a sign that said Jinder my balls and showed it to him and filmed him. And I don't know what the guy said to Jinder, but Jinder like acknowledged, that's a phrase that we use on the shows. I don't remember exactly how it went down, but look, I ended up getting a liking to Jinder Mahal. He definitely has worth, but this is not it. I mean, it just feels like they're, especially Veer and Shanky, look at their size. You look at Omos and the Viking Raider. This is what I look at it. Omos is like heaven. The Viking Raiders are like purgatory. And Veer and Shanky are like hell. Like, the Viking Raiders are just like treading water. Like, it feels like they're going to go to heaven. Then it feels like they're going to get released, which would be hell. But they're like kind of right in the middle. They're like in purgatory. Omos, he's up here. He ain't going anywhere right now. I shouldn't use heaven and hell, but, sticking around, not so sure sticking around, future uncertain.
Right.
Veer and Shanky's future seems extremely uncertain. And remember, we had that disaster in NXT when, one of them revealed, Keith Lee winning both belts. How that's not like taught like in your first 5 minutes in wrestling school. You do not leak out spoilers like that. I'm concerned about those guys.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, like, what do you think? They're going to get pushed back down to NXT, or you think they're on the next chopping block?
I don't like predicting releases, but I can't help but to take notice of some people who are still off TV, like Dana Brooke and others. And look, it's going to get to a point, and I know some people are tired of us bringing up Nick Khan all the time, and I won't. I'll bring it up only when it's necessary. But we instilled in everybody's brain for the last 4 or 5 months about Nick Khan that you should know the deal right now. And the only reason why I'm saying it now is if you look at what's gone down, you're not going to take these inflated, bloated salaries and then look at it and say, this person hasn't done anything in 2 months. Why are we paying this person? So I'm a little concerned. I mean, yes, they're on TV, but there's no crowd reaction. Shanky, it felt like initiation when Drew hit him with like 95 chair shots. But since then, they have not used that even for sympathy momentum.
No,
they
haven't.
Tony Storm, we might see something this week. I think if Tony Storm is not on this week, then I think there should be some cause for concern.
Are we up to the belief that there may be another bus flip in the near future? Are we underneath that? I mean, especially after listening to Nick Khan's interview with Ariel Helwani, do we believe that there is a potential for WWE to have one more round of cuts, maybe before the draft?
Yeah. Unless maybe they're saving a few people for the draft. I just can't see WWE paying some people because the draft is not until October.
Right.
Mid-October, and that could even change. So you're going to have people off TV for like 4 or 5 months. You do that to people that you're just holding off from a big return, not someone that's going to return just to get squashed like a grape to somebody in 5 minutes. I don't know, but I kind of agree. I think we're in a new era with WWE that if somebody's, they're not going to waste money. Not going to waste money. So you always got to factor, like, especially now when they negotiate contracts, they have to factor in 3 extra months, usually 3 months. And what that means is that if I'm going to hire someone for $100,000, all right, a year, you divide that into 12 months, that's about $8,000 a month, about $2,000 a week. Now, if I, after 6 months, decide this ain't working out, we already paid $50,000 to have this person on the payroll. By us cutting that person now, 6 months in, now we're going to pay another 3 months. So we basically paid 9 months for 6 months' work. So how do you combat that? Well, you get people to agree for smaller salary. You might look at a particular, I'm not going to use any names, you might look at a particular wrestler and say, okay, we'd be willing to pay this person $150,000 a year. But if we could get this person assigned for $120,000, if we release them and have to pay them a quarter of that year's contract just sitting at home, we kind of still break out even. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that is the future. And, I really don't want to talk about Adam Cole right now. There's really not much to the story, but I'll just throw it out there now, since we're talking about contracts. His deal is officially done with WWE. As of now, he is no longer under contract with WWE. It's not a 90-day no-compete.
Okay.
He could work wherever. His contract is just over. It's not where he got released. So my point is this. WWE, they have a good relationship with Adam Cole. They had him doing stuff on Friday, debuting toys and figures and everything. So,
do you think he might have signed some kind of a temporary contract until everything is finished?
That's what I thought. I thought, okay, you sign an extra 3 months, 6 months. Wrestlers have done that before. But in this case, no. There's no extension. And you know why I wouldn't do that, Mish? Because his work in NXT is complete. They're not going to keep bloated salaries in NXT anymore. So why would you agree for Adam Cole to stay, let's say, 3 more months, where you still have to debut that person on either Raw or SmackDown, start a storyline with someone, start a feud, then in 2 months' time, it's time to take them off TV again. You know what I mean?
Well, because there might be a changing of the guard. You kind of have to go for it. Look, we're just talking right now about Dana. We were talking about Jinder. We were talking about all these other people that haven't been on TV in a while now for WWE. And you have a guy who's at the end of his contract who may just re-sign for a few months, 90 days, and see where it goes. Like, I don't understand. I understand that Adam Cole doesn't want to be like a main roster guy, but it's weird because I had this discussion earlier last week about Walter potentially leaving and staying in the UK, because that was on the list too, because he didn't want to stay stateside. And it's like, it's weird to me that you wouldn't even make the attempt to go to the main roster of the company that you work for. Like, that just seems wild to me. And maybe that is what it is. Maybe at the end of the day, Cole just really doesn't want to go to the main roster, and so be it. But I would think you at least have to try, because what happens if we're all wrong and Adam Cole goes up there to SmackDown or to Raw and fucking crushes it, blows us all away, shows another level to his persona, shows another level to his talent, and wows the audience with great promos, maybe great in-ring work, maybe connects with a gimmick. I don't know. But it's like, you have to at least make the attempt. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a minor league baseball star who's been down there for 10 years and is considered one of the best of that minor league team, and they finally get the chance to go to the Mets or something like that, and they're like, nah, I'm good. I'm just going to retire. Like, I don't fucking get that, dude. It doesn't make sense. Like, even if you end up being a scrub on the main roster, you at least fucking tried. You at least tried. Whatever, man. You know.
You know what it could be, too? Right now, we're going into Extreme Rules.
Right.
We're going to have Saudi Arabia. And maybe at this point, WWE is not looking or does not have a storyline to bring Adam Cole to the main roster. I mean, if you think about it, like, who would he feud with? Like, I could see possibly Damian Priest. But where does that leave Sheamus and others? I know what everyone's going to say, but you got to look at it in WWE's eyes. We don't have to agree with WWE, but you have to understand.
But you're telling me that they can't figure out other people that aren't wrestling right now that Adam Cole could do something with? Why do we have to immediately throw Adam Cole in the middle of other people's storylines?
Keith Lee, it's more of getting into a regular mode again. That's why he's doing dark matches more than anything else. By the way, the main event results, I got them myself today. Jeff Hardy over Cedric Alexander, Mansoor and Mustafa Ali over the Lucha House Party. That was your main event results today. I just, there's only so many hours in a day, and yes, they have 3 hours of Raw and 2 hours on SmackDown. But even when I look at SmackDown, like, I could see Adam Cole feuding with Cesaro almost immediately. I think that would be phenomenal. I could see him feuding with AJ Styles, but AJ and Omos are not done with RK Bro as of yet. So the timing right now might be all messed up where WWE really does not want to bring in Adam Cole right at this particular moment.
I know, but when are you going to bring him in if he's at the end of his contract?
I know, that's the thing, but I'm saying, like, that's why I wouldn't sign an extension. If I had a spot on Raw or SmackDown where I could say, let's put him right on there, he'd go right at this person, boom, 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 then I would say, okay.
So you're thinking it might be something a little bit more sinister. So, like, for example, we let Adam Cole go. WWE lets Adam Cole go. And Adam Cole might show up in AEW. And Adam Cole might wrestle there for a few months, might get into a really big feud, and then WWE drops a big contract deal for him in his lap.
By the way, Chris L., I saw he popped up tonight. Chris, here's your rapper. Pretty cool. As it says on the bottom, pretty cool. So that's one half of your prize. You got to let me know what CM Punk shirt you want. Shipping address, shirt size, email me. And let me know if you want me to laminate this. Personally, I wouldn't. Because laminate, if it starts peeling away, you're fucked. But, let me know. But, so Adam Cole, as of right now, his contract is over with WWE. I know people immediately think AEW and other places, but, again, do I think Adam Cole would fit in AEW? Absolutely. I could come up with 10 people that I could see him going up against, and that would be enough time. The way AEW does things, that would be enough time for a year or two. I've been bringing this up repeatedly on the Wednesday show. Andrade. Idolo. Andrade. He's going to face Pac next weekend at All Out.
Yeah.
Next weekend makes 12 weeks that Andrade, Idolo, has been in AEW. 12 weeks, which people don't know is 3 months. Andrade, in 3 months, leading up to next weekend, has had one match against Matt Sydal for 4 minutes. Not bad contract to negotiate. Just think about that. That's almost like getting the 90. Think about Andrade. Didn't he get a 90-day no-compete? Was it 90 days, or did he get the 30 or the 60? But just think about that. Andrade, he got paid a month or two from WWE to sit at home, And then AEW, it's almost like a release deal. They paid him 3 months to wrestle for 4 minutes. Shit, man. Andrade, please. Let me know your secret, my friend. And I say that he had 90-day notice. Think about that. Andrade, yes, he wrestled AAA. But I'm talking about AEW and WWE. Between AEW and WWE, that motherfucker made 6 months of pay for wrestling 4 minutes.
Right.
Idolo. I admire people like that, man. Like I said, when people bitch about Brock Lesnar, you mean to tell me, all of you out there, if you went to your employer said, look, we want to negotiate a new contract. How's this? We'll give you top pay. You only have to work eight times out of the year. You mean to tell me you'd be like, no, sir, I must work every week. I must work at least every other week. No. You're going to be like a bad cartoon. You're going to be like, now I'm dizzy. Anyway, just to finish up the show so we talk about NXT and get out of here. We had, now did Doudrop actually win? Because isn't it a forfeit when Eva Marie can't compete? And by the way.
Are you asking about the rules of wrestling again? Because you know where I'm going to go with that.
Look, I hate when they make referees look like morons. And Eva Marie is holding the neck. She's hurt her neck. It's a referee stoppage. And meanwhile, Doudrop is outside the ring. And I personally don't think this was intentionally being acting heel as Eva Marie. But she went like this. Like, she's moving her neck around perfectly, and it doesn't look good on TV because the referee is still like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Like, the referee is consoling her, and she's turning her neck this way, looking at Doudrop. And I'm like, oh, come on. Please. It makes the referee look like a fool. But in my eyes, Doudrop won that match because of forfeit. Where does this go from here? Does Eva Marie debut another female? Does Eva Marie bring in Dana Brooke?
Oh,
seriously,
maybe Nikki
she flexes, and I don't have muscles like Dana Brooke, but
Eva Marie brings back Nikki and Brie Bella.
Oh no! Why? So Nikki and Brie could go up against Doudrop? I don't want to see that. By the way. Because we talked, I think, about everything. I mean, other than the main event, which was a lot of fun, RK Bro beating MVP and Lashley. I thought it was a fun match. I mean, AJ Styles and Omos getting involved was to make sure that Lashley's loss has a little bit of an asterisk next to it. But, it's a fun match. But, they mixed up a lot of tonight. It wasn't that bad of an edition of Raw. I thought it was okay.
It was okay. It was an okay Raw. It had some good highlights. The main event was good. I enjoyed that.
Let's talk about Goldberg. By the way, I'm doing timestamps. That's why you see me writing, everybody.
Sure.
Is it safe to say Goldberg versus Lashley, Saudi Arabia? No title on the line. Goldberg probably gets his win back. Does he bring Gage?
Yeah, Gage will be back. Clearly, the whole reason that Goldberg is coming back around this time is because of the Gage storyline. Gage is going to be involved with WWE. Why do people not see this as the whole reason that Goldberg is here? I liked the fact that he said, this time I'm not going to go after the title. I'm going to go after Bobby Lashley's soul. Apparently turning into Shang Tsung since the last time they met. But yeah, no, it's fine. Goldberg back in the ring with Bobby Lashley for a fight should just be the same exact match we just saw a couple weeks ago. But that's fine. I know it's all about Gage. Gage will probably make his re-debut because his neck is all jacked up, brother. He'll be fine. It's Goldberg. 21, man. I mean,
look, he was only supposed to have 2 matches this year. Now he's got 3. But
I know,
because
it's
it's
crazy.
his son. Well,
That's right.
Drew earlier this year.
Yeah.
So, he came, like you said, he came back to wrestling so he could perform in front of his son. Now is the opportunity. Hey, Goldberg, you want to have a third match this year? And we'll even put your son in the storyline. That's the teaser. Plus, Saudi Arabia wants Goldberg still. So we're going to get Goldberg and Lashley in Saudi Arabia. No title on the line, which means more than likely Goldberg will defeat Lashley.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Today is the 1-year anniversary of Roman Reigns winning the Universal Championship. I think, honestly, over the last 365 days, I don't think anybody in wrestling has had a better 365 days as far as their progression of their character, just their overall presence, marketability, merchandise, just revenue, interest. I think now, unfortunately, that bleeds into last year. So you can't look at Wrestler of the Year that way. You got to go from January 1st to December 31st. But I tell you, I don't even think anybody comes close to a second in wrestling. I don't think anybody comes close to second. Kenny Omega, and I still think that he's going to be number 2, or possibly some magazines will still put him number 1 for 2021. But I've been saying this on the other shows, and I'm surprised at how many people agree with me on it. Kenny Omega has turned into a sports entertainer the last 6 months. I mean, even you look at the gaga of what he did Friday at Rampage with Brandon Cutlet, Kenny Omega's turned into a sports entertainer. I'm not complaining about it because I understand the amount of work that he does behind the scenes, but he is now a sports entertainer. Roman Reigns, 1 year anniversary. Happy anniversary to him. Good year. All right. Since we were talking about AEW, I wanted to throw this out there. Somebody asked me to mention it, so I'm going to mention it. Rampage's rating on Friday was 722,000. That is down from the week before. It's 1,129,000. So it went down 407,000. Basically, everybody who tuned in last Friday to see CM Punk or the Friday before tuned out. It's basically what happened. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Impact Wrestling. We haven't talked about this in a while. Their rating last week was only 98,000 viewers, Mish. I mean, I truly believe they fucked that company up so bad in 2021 by putting AEW involved, especially with their world title.
Oh, yeah.
I look at that and I say to myself, what they did to that title, that it basically sending the message that nobody on the Impact roster is strong enough and worthy enough to be champion.
Right.
Rich Swann had better ratings.
Huh.
Rich Swann had better ratings.
Yeah.
And SmackDown did 2,250,000, which was up about 100,000 viewers from the week before. We talked about the other ratings already, so we don't need to get into the other ones. But they're on the show description page for tonight. Very quickly, Saturday. I don't think I'm going to do a show this Friday. I think we're going to do it Saturday because remember, in September, I was going to move the show from Friday to Saturday. I didn't do one this weekend because I spent it with my mom and I was in bed horrendously with a sugar hangover Sunday from doing what I did, as I said earlier. But I think starting this weekend, this Saturday, I'm going to do the show on Saturday. I'm leaning towards 6 p.m. Eastern as a start time. So what I was thinking of doing Saturday is AEW predictions for All Out, maybe a little weekend review, and some live calls. So that is what I'm thinking about doing on Saturday. I'm going to post a thread in the community section so everybody who tunes in can leave some input. Is there anything specific you think I should cover on Saturday you think people would want to tune into. So you let me
No,
know.
I think they actually get into that on Thursday. I'll be going to the AEW charity softball game.
Oh, nice.
They're going to have it. The AEW has a charity event for P.A.W.S, which is a charity for service animals, I believe, and other types of animals at the Schaumburg Boomers Center, or the Wintrust Field Center, whatever that's called. I've never been there before, but yeah, it's going to be the PWT guys, Pro Wrestling Tees guys, Steve and all those people.
Okay.
Versus AEW.
Nice.
And we got a list of all the people. There's like a meet and greet and everything else before that. I think that would be a lot more of a fun environment than anything else that's going around All In this year.
You gonna
because
record any of it?
Yeah, fuck yeah, I'll go there live. It's on Thursday, so it's right before my show. Oh shit, what time does it start? Yeah, it starts at 8 p.m. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'll have to have an early wrestling soup then.
Yeah.
I guess the game starts at 8. Holy
shit. If you
shit.
send me a little footage, I'll stream it Saturday. I'll stream some clips. Yeah.
I'd love to see. Okay, all right. Now, just for funsies, let me ask you, who do you think is going to do well? Let me tell you the list of the people playing, but out of all these people, who do you think would actually be a good player? Darby Allin, Anna Jay, Jungle Boy, Wardlow, QT Marshall, Colt Cabana, Jake Hagar, Santana, Vicky Guerrero, Preston Vance, Sean Spears, Evil Uno, Frankie Kazarian, Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr., Varsity Blondes, John Silver, Red Velvet, Rebel, not Reba, Captain Sean Dean, Colton Gunn, Austin Gunn, Jade Cargill, Thunder Rosa, Dasha Couret, Big Swole, Referee Aubrey Edwards, Serpentico, Luther, and the Butcher.
First of all, there's only 9 people on the field at a time. I mean, what are we going to get? AEW softball dark? I mean,
no, it's going to be
innings 9. Is this going to be?
9 people are batting and 9 people are on the field.
So the people on the field are going to be different than the people batting?
Yes.
I think Wardlow...
It's a charity event. It's not going to be serious.
I think Wardlow will kick ass. I would not be surprised if Colt Cabana does well. I think Kazarian will do well. As far as women goes, I honestly don't know who plays softball as far as that group.
I'd bet Big Swole. I bet Big Swole would be
not
pretty
be
good
surprised.
As far as the girls go.
Yeah.
And maybe even Thunder Rosa. I wouldn't be surprised there either.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little curious to see this now. I'm sure
it's
AEW
a lot of games.
probably
It's a meet and greet beforehand. They got a meet and greet beforehand. So, look, it's interesting to me because it's wrestlers not being wrestlers.
Right.
It's wrestlers having a laugh and doing something for charity in their own world. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I'll say this. This is my preview for Wednesday, and I didn't even realize it. Freaking Fozzy. Just think about that. Jericho's going to take on MJF on Sunday, and he's going to do 2 concerts that weekend on top of it. I mean...
Yeah, I'll probably go to the one in Joliet.
Yeah, give that guy credit. I mean,
gotta
doing
put
2
your work
concerts.
Yeah, but all these kids the AEW kids are all going to the softball game, so it's like, good for them. Good for them. I mean, they're not in Chicago doing all this, even though they keep saying that, but they're totally doing everything around Chicagoland. So good for them.
Okay. Before we get to the NXT logo thing, NWA had their Empower event this weekend.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it on Wednesday. The big news coming out of it is that, Awesome Kong has called it a career. I mean, she really hasn't done much in the ring for quite some time, but she officially... Now, I know a lot of people were saying that this should have been maybe a little bit more of a special ceremony, an event, this and that. I actually asked a few people today, and, 2 people that don't even know each other, and they both told me the same thing. They said that they heard that Awesome Kong did not want pomp and circumstance, did not want like a big ceremony or a tribute or anything. She just wanted to announce it and, give props to Gail Kim, who was, I guess, her, biggest foe, maybe in wrestling when you think about it in the States. So I just, it was fucking, I'll say it.
You know what?
There.
Even if that's
sad.
true.
Huh?
Yeah. I mean, even if it's true that Kong didn't want the pomp and circumstance, retirement moments aren't for you, the wrestler. They're for your fans to say goodbye.
Well, the fans,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what it is. That whole thing, the whole pomp and circumstance to say goodbye to somebody in wrestling isn't because, it is partially for them, but it's mainly about saying goodbye to the fans. It's about giving that moment to the fans. Awesome Kong coming out there and knocking out two girls and having a hugging moment with Gail Kim was not what I expected for the retirement of one of the greatest big women in the professional wrestling industry.
She's not.
You could throw out Bertha Faye, you could throw out Aja Kong, her old partner. You could throw out a lot of big girls over the years, but Kong was one of the best, if not the very best. And for it to just be a little bit of a bit segment,
She's
I don't know, man.
Impact Hall of Fame, right?
Oh, I imagine she will be if she is.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe when she goes in the Impact Hall of Fame, that's when she'll get her ceremony.
Yeah.
So,
maybe.
We'll talk about that on Wednesday a little bit more. So, we're at an hour and 25 minutes. Managed it very well today. I get to go to sleep a little early today. Let's talk about this. I have no idea what Mish is going to say. This is the new NXT logo. It'll be revealed. Yes. Well, they're already teasing it, but here's the thing.
Oh, they're not even teasing it. There was a commercial.
Oh, yeah,
a full-blown commercial using it. Yeah.
They're teasing it right now because they're still using the old logo for another week or two. But, when I first saw this, I tried to make a joke. I said it looked like some, like color palettes, having too much to drink on Temptation Island. Like it looked like a whole bunch of different colors just blowing loads and there's your thing. But I tell you, I'd be honest with you. I've let this sink in all weekend, and this is not me being PC. This is not me trying to get a job with WWE. This is just my honest take on this. Because you and I, for the longest time, have talked about NXT needing to go back to their roots. Be an OVW, be HWA, Florida Championship Wrestling. I couldn't believe how many news reporters this weekend was saying that NXT is going to be similar to what OVW was and all that. I'm like, it's what we were talking about all this time. So if you keep that mindset, I like this. And I'll tell you why I like it. The neon colors are a little bit much, but anyone out there, and the reason why I say this to you more than anybody is because you are a good artist. You've drawn things for me, done graphics for me. You're an artist. So I think you'll understand this a little bit more. When an artist makes an abstract or makes any type of art, they start with a palette of colors. They have that color pad, and there's all different inks and colors. And what they'll do is take the brush, grab a little bit of pink, go like this, grab a little blue, go like this, grab a little orange, go like this. And you have a whole different array of colors to choose from. This is not about race, but what this logo I attach myself to is NXT is going to have a whole different array of talents, different shapes and sizes, different backgrounds, different looks, different nationalities. And this is going to be NXT is going to be their canvas to become a work of art. NXT is going to be the platform, and this is their canvas. That's why I connect with that logo. What say you?
All I'm saying is it's nice what you can get for $5 on Fiverr. That's what I'm going to say. You know what? If NXT really wanted to embrace the old OVW style and they wanted to go back to basics, they already had the colors. Yellow and black or gold and black are the same colors that they were using back in OVW. If anything, what they could have done to represent new changes was keep the color format, keep the color palette, keep the things familiar, and change the font. Do more with the font. Change the style of the font. Maybe put some kind of another type of logo behind the font. The one thing I saw a constant response to this new NXT logo is it's very similar to the fact that AEW just recently used a rainbow palette in their advertising. Now, of course, AEW doesn't own rainbows and AEW doesn't own colors, but it is kind of weird that your competition, your direct competition, however you want to look at them, was literally doing that with the AEW logo, with their actual logo months before. I don't know why, even if they weren't trying to do that, I don't know why you would make the mistake of trying to do something that even in the most remote of ways be similar to something that your competition is doing.
To me, it makes more sense. To me, it makes more sense for NXT to have this logo than AEW. Why did AEW do it?
Because they were first.
No. Why did they make the logo? Like, what was the purpose?
Because they were first. That's why they did it. It was their idea.
Right, but
why did they make a logo? Because the logo was their marketing brand.
Right.
I don't understand
that logo if it was for Gay Pride Month or LGBTQ.
No, it wasn't.
So why make the logo?
Because they were first. It was their creative idea. The people that made those little AEW snippets with AEW and the colors and everything else like that, it wasn't a political
these people
statement.
didn't laugh at the AEW's rainbow, but they're laughing at NXT's.
I do remember, myself included, made shots at the silly rainbow colors on the AEW. Yeah. I'm just speaking for myself. I didn't like it then either. So I just think it's weird that NXT, underneath that same idea, would even remotely play with this. I like the idea of the gold and black. I don't know why they had to change the gold and black. You want to sit there and say, look, we're changing NXT. We're bringing it back to its foundations. We're bringing it back to its roots. We're going to do the things that made NXT popular with the audience. At what point was NXT ever represented by rainbows?
Good point.
I don't get it, man. I know. Look, it's at the end of the day, it's like everything else. It's an opinion, and it's an opinion based upon art. So my tastes are different than other people's tastes, and I get that. The only thing I say is I think it's very odd that they would make such a decision when their competition had done it previously. Just seems like a weird thing to do. Not saying that NXT stole the idea from AEW. Just seems like somebody should have done 2 seconds of research to figure out that their main competition did that too, even if it's in a different way. That's all I got.
Fair point. We're almost done with the show. When we get into the comment section, I'd love for all of you out there to post your comments, how you feel about the logo. Are you lean more towards what Mish is saying? Do you lean more towards what I'm saying? I mean, I do want to see more. I want to see how they present this on TV. Are they going to show somebody like an artist and see the wrestlers? And I don't know.
Well, did you see the artist? There was like a hip hop artist.
Oh yeah. No, Wale.
There was more to it, right?
Yeah, I mean, no, the music I thought was fine. The music felt a little bit retro for me. I don't know. But I don't know why Steph is giving today's show a thumbs down, but that's how you feel. All good. Being honest, at least. But we'll see what happens. But NXT, You know, tomorrow they announced a couple of matches. I'm just looking forward to see what they do with Ilya Dragunov tomorrow, because he's going to be on NXT tomorrow.
Right.
So, you know, that match with Walter was insane, man.
Yeah,
To me, match of the year so far.
fantastic.
Anything that I've seen doesn't even come close. I heard Meltzer gave it 5.25 stars.
Oh, no, we did not. He probably gave it 2 stars.
No.
And only 1 star was given because it was he thought they were representing strong style.
I haven't heard much bad about that match. I mean, anybody, even like I heard Cornette's rant, and I thought did a damn good job as well. But yeah, so other than that, wow, I actually get to go to sleep a little bit. I mean, it is 12:45 a.m. That says a lot when we're almost at 1 a.m. and we're finishing early.
Wow.
So,
Good,
so Rojo Bear with the run-in right before we call it. He brings out a point. It's going to pop up on the screen any second. He says the TNT drama used those rainbow colors first. That's why AEW does it. Very good point. So if TNT was doing it on their network and then AEW did it as part of that as well, that kind of makes sense. Something tells me if we look around hard enough, we probably would see a lot of networks at some point doing a similar design. But, you know, it's got to coincide with NXT. So we got to see if there's going to be announcers being changed. You know, it's not just more of just, I mean, we know what the roster is.
Right.
You know what I mean, we know what the roster is. They're going to cut a little bit more to bloated contracts. But other than a new logo and new music, we already know what the roster is. Are we going to get Ikemen Jiro a little bit more? I mean, obviously we have to see how it plays out on TV. So,
right.
But all right, one last question before we go, because I know we didn't take questions tonight. Your thoughts on Trevor Murdoch winning the NWA Heavyweight Championship? I'm going to get into it on Wednesday, but we could talk about that because that is a big deal because Nick Aldis had that reign for so long.
If you've been paying attention to NWA, it makes sense. It's been part of the storyline. It was a really big moment. Trevor Murdoch is the everyman that represents NWA. And while Nick Aldis is a good champion, Trevor Murdoch is, in my opinion, a better representation of what the NWA is in 2021. For people that don't normally watch NWA and all they watched was 73, I understood why so many people said, Trevor Murdoch, that guy's still in wrestling? It's kind of sad, but yeah. So I enjoyed it. I really did. It was a big moment. Last time Trevor Murdoch had a shot at the title, he was screwed for it. It was kind of funny, kind of sad at the same time, if you remember it. But yeah, it was a big moment. It was a
right
big
before
moment.
COVID, if I remember correctly.
It's been going on for a while.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I will say this. I don't know Trevor Murdoch is heavyweight champion, how that's going to gain more viewers, because that's what NWA needs more than anything.
He connects. Dude, if you watch his promos and stuff.
No, I mean,
like,
he's not Dusty Rhodes.
The audience.
He's not Dusty Rhodes.
He's in that same game, though. That's what he's trying to be.
That's what I'm saying. If you are a fan of NWA, he draws you in. You click with him.
You feel bad when he loses matches, man. It's like you feel physically bad when Trevor Murdoch loses. It's like, oh, this guy doesn't deserve that. And they kicked my dog. Nick Aldis kicked my dog. Dude, Trevor Murdoch is a wonderful baby face. He's very sympathetic. You know what I mean? Like I said, I understand why there were so many people that went like, really? Trevor Murdoch is your champion? What the fuck? But he deserves it. He deserves it.
Let's see what they do with it. Let's see. Because Nick Aldis now, big question is, where does he go? I think we may see Nick Aldis wrestle for a few other promotions. Now maybe without having the NWA championship, they're a little bit more flexible as far as what they could do with him.
Right.
You know, But Mish, I promise you we were going to finish early today. So we finished much earlier than usual. So have a good night. Tomorrow,
You too.
I want to mention this to you before you go. I have the brackets made up for the favorite
Awesome.
comic books tournament. So
Sure.
tomorrow we'll reveal those brackets. We ended up with exactly 96 comic books. So round one kicks off with 32 three-way dances. So we'll do that tomorrow on Patreon.
All right.
Have a good night, my friend. Be
Much
well.
love, everybody. Thank you.
Take care. Everyone, I want to thank you for tuning in. I wanted to do one last thing before we go. I didn't want to keep Mish on for this. It's only going to take 2 minutes. But a few of you were asking me about the WWE auctions, the Goldin auctions that I had spoke about a couple of weeks ago. And the auctions actually closed this weekend. So for all of you out there that wanted to see the how much these auctions went for, you see me with my mouse right here. I'm going to show them to you. So remember, we had a good laugh about this because WWE just had that TV special, the TV show, Most Wanted Treasures, and they were seeking out like all these rare things that they were trying to get back. And then right after that series is done, Goldin Auctions is putting up all this rare WWE stuff. And I wonder how many people who gave up their shit to WWE recently on that show, how much some of them are now concerned that these motherfuckers are going to ultimately put it as an auction on Goldin. But I wanted to share with you how much these things went for. It's going to blow your mind. This SummerSlam ring skirt, which was from 1998, that skirt sold for $6,150. Impact Wrestling right now on eBay is trying to sell their skirt from their recent event that went around the announcers table, and I don't even think they could get $150 for it. Just to show you how different things are. This SummerSlam skirt that was used between 1989 and 1997 sold for $13,530. I kid you not. This SummerSlam arena banner that is 9 foot by 12 foot, as you can see over there, that one sold for $6,150. I'm surprised that this one sold for so much less. The actual Money in the Bank briefcase that Randy Orton had 2013 that he cashed in and defeated Daniel Bryan, that briefcase sold for $9,225. Big Boss Man's nightstick that he used at SummerSlam 88 against Coco Beware, that sold for $8,610. Brutus Beefcake's shears that he used in the 1989 SummerSlam match between he and Hulk Hogan versus Randy Savage and Zeus, that only sold for $6,765. I'm a little bit surprised about that. I mean, I wouldn't pay that kind of money for any of this shit, but Ric Flair versus Cactus Jack, the I Quit match from SummerSlam 2006. This barbed wire baseball bat sold for, get this, everybody, $19,680. Could have bought a brand new car with that. This Vince McMahon, 1 in a million. I don't know if you could, can I zoom in? Yeah, there you go. The Vince McMahon, 1 in a million. That gave you the t-shirt, the signed $1 billion bill, and yeah, that's all you get. That sold for $6,765. I think we only have 2 left. I should have done these photos at the beginning. Triple H, he brings you to WWE headquarters and he tours you around the archives area, shows you a lot of the stuff. You actually walk around with Triple H at WWE headquarters. That meet and greet, that experience sold for $19,680. Same amount that the barbed wire bat went for. And then this WrestleMania VIP experience. You basically, I think you get 2 front row tickets. You get all access at WrestleMania 38, which is April 3rd of next year. You get all access to our meet and greet with The Undertaker. You get to take a photo, some autograph opportunities. I'm reading the paragraph. I don't see front row tickets, though. All I see is all access VIP. Anyway, that auction went for $530. $13,530. Pretty wild numbers, man. I mean, I love Mick Foley, my second most favorite wrestler of all time. I would never pay $20,000 for a barbed wire bat. That's crazy. Crazy shit, man. But yeah, I figured I'd share that for anybody that wanted to see what the outcome of the auctions were. But anyway, with that said, I am going to jet out of here. I want to thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Great show as always. You know, we're not finishing that early, everybody. We're in an hour and 45 minutes. But fun show. I get to crash in the next few minutes, so I'm still recovering from this weekend. But if you're part of our Patreon family, make sure to tune in tomorrow. That's going to be the debut of the favorite comic books tournament. And we do one every week now. We do a tournament. Each one lasts on average 2 weeks. And everybody votes for their choices. And then we run a tournament. Everybody picks. We just did the favorite stand-up comedians tournament. And it came down to George Carlin and Robin Williams. And George Carlin won that one, which was pretty interesting how that went down. Dave Chappelle, I think, got down to the final 4, I think. I think Dave Chappelle came down to the final 4. But I think it was Dave Chappelle, Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, and George Carlin. I think those were the final 4. But so tune in tomorrow. We're going to do that. We'll talk a little NXT. I think tomorrow's Off the Cuff, which will be a very interactive, fun show. And if you're not on our Patreon, you could join me on Wednesday for Wednesday Night Don-o-mite. Again, this is the preview. I'll talk about that Upper Deck card that is released. You only have until, I think, September 3rd or September 5th to order one. That's an e-card. We got some pretty interesting matches Wednesday. FTR versus Santana Ortiz, the Elite, minus Kenny Omega versus the Lucha Brothers and Jurassic Express. I might make a list of some meet and greets. Nia Jax with the run-in. He got the 3rd shot this weekend, the COVID shot. He's in Israel, so it's handled a little bit differently over there. They're actually a little bit ahead of the game over there, but I hope you're feeling good. I mean, I have fully recovered from my 3rd shot, and I recorded some video. I haven't had a chance to send it to someone who was going to edit it and put it together nice. I was going to put it online for anybody that, you know, maybe it helped someone. But that's it. I'm out of here. Everyone, much love as always. And if you don't mind, as I always ask on my way out, if you enjoyed tonight's show, where are they? I can't find them. Where are they? There they are. Like, subscribe, share, everyone. If you know anyone out there that may not be aware of the show, let them know. You know, we do different shows almost every day of the week. And definitely check out the community section, because I'm going to post a thread tomorrow about Saturday. I definitely want to do it at a time that doesn't interfere with other people's shows out there. I mean, it's pretty obvious on Friday, everybody does a SmackDown recap, an AEW recap. You know, everybody now is doing watch along. So, you know, and plus it's a night on the weekend. I think everybody, you know, is a little bit more relaxed. And the most important thing, we start the show early. I'm planning 6 p.m. Eastern as a start, which allows a lot of our international friends to tune in. Maybe we start an hour early. I definitely want your feedback, because you'll help mold what we do on Saturday. One thing is for certain, Saturday I am going to do predictions for All Out and, you know, take some live calls in the process. Everyone, be well. Much love as always. And I will catch you tomorrow on Patreon or Wednesday for Wednesday Night Don-o-mite. Take care, everybody. Good night.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a podcaster. For me to live any other way was nuts. To me, those goody-good people who worked shitty jobs for bum paychecks and took the subway to work every day and worried about their bills were dead. I mean, they were suckers. They had no balls. If I wanted something, I just took it. I ran everything. I paid the bills. I paid the host. I even paid the masked maniac. Everybody had their hands out. Everything was for the taking. We always called each other good fellas. You would always hear from somebody. You're gonna like Don Tony. He's alright. He's a good fella. He's one of us. But if you're part of my crew, nobody ever tells you they're gonna get rid of you. It doesn't happen that way. There weren't any arguments or curses like in the movies. See, your haters come with smiles. They come as your friends, the people who've claimed they care the most for your life. And now that's all over. And that's the best part. Today everything is different. There's lots of action. I don't have to wait around for everything like everyone else. Oh, I didn't get the vaccine? Fuck you, vaccine me. Oh, your delivery guy has COVID? Fuck you, feed me. Right after I moved here, I ordered egg noodles and ketchup, and I got spaghetti with meat sauce. I'm no longer an average nobody, while they get to live the rest of their lives like a bunch of schnooks.